Nobody is going to go home and go, wow, that sure was a great show where a bunch of guys stood stock still and played everything perfectly and it was fucking boring. They're going to say, wow, remember that crazy bullshit.
It's Firehouse 13 in 2014. Boom.
Okay, yes, we're here. Hello. It is Rock Bottom with the Mighty Fall. Yet again, unfortunately for all of you. What's happening, kids?
I can't see shit right now.
What's up?
But it's okay.
Yes,
I assume
indeed.
it's somewhere over there because we have a nice little screen. So, hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we got a new friend with us today.
Yeah, we have Dave Snyder. And if you don't know Dave Snyder, he is actually, first and foremost, he is the guitarist, vocalist of the band Like Yeah. That's with an exclamation point after it, Like Yeah. And as well as that, he is actually a Providence sound guy. He does sound and sound engineering or whatever. I want to make it sound better. And he does sound. He does sound engineering for multiple Providence venues. He is
we're the firemen of Providence.
That's what we're learning already.
Put out the fires.
Okay. I just want to start off by thanking you for being here with the Mighty Fall.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah,
Our
brother. Thank you
pleasure
for being here.
Yeah.
Now, as we do at the beginning of,
Are we starting with this?
We've
We always
begun
start
to do.
with-
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So you say this is our first time doing this.
This is
No, that's
like
we
the
did this
second.
the second time. We did
Well,
this
that is like
Not-
maybe the
not
second or
with
third
me.
time.
Oh, you did it last time.
We did it
and I
last
wasn't
time.
here.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You were. Okay,
So what happens?
Okay, you
Just-
explain to him.
We read our fortunes.
Oh,
And this is where I'm just slowly sabotaging
to
this
eat
podcast with crunchy noises. Yeah, only if you want to. I think it's bad luck to not do it.
Jesus.
Okay, here we go.
Well, the backstory of this being there was a time where it was just me, him, and Andrew. You were busy and Crusoe was sick, so we just gave him a bunch of garbage and we were just like eating fortune cookies and fucking off.
okay.
So
Those are quite.
your life will be a beautiful journey. I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
Mine's wrong.
So I wouldn't quite go that far, but that's a nice sentiment.
Well, go down the line. Might as well you go. Your turn, Mike.
Actually, it's not wrong. It says this February, 1 month from now, ladies and gentlemen, they want me to take a break and enjoy the beauty of life.
I don't think you know how to do that.
I don't know if you
but
know how to do that either.
again, a nice
Yeah,
thought.
Mike Carp
Take a
stopping?
break.
No.
What's a break? Give me a break.
Give me a break.
Yeah, exactly.
What you got here?
Your
Yeah.
hobby will teach you the importance of balance in life. The importance of balance.
These are a bunch of people that are really good at balancing
They're
their
always
shit.
right.
Yeah. Stay focused and determined on this Wednesday, and success will follow.
On Wednesday.
Why is it on Wednesday?
Specifically on Wednesday.
It literally specifically says on Wednesday. Okay. That sounds good.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Good.
Even though we're
Good.
past the holiday season now, me and Nick decided to go green and red just to represent that Christmas has passed. And, over here we have like an olive green and a red as well. So as you can see, we're very festive.
Time to hunt.
We're very
We're going hunting.
excited about it. You know what I'm saying? So, Dave, first question we have for you here on the Mighty Fall podcast would be, how'd you get into sound? What's your background in sound?
All
What's
right,
your learnings? What'd you do? What journeyman stuff? Like, give it to me.
God, I kind of started when I was a kid, and basically the main reason why I got into sound was because I wanted to be the guy that had a band that just did their own thing.
Okay,
and
so
recorded all their own stuff. So I wanted to learn
Side question.
everything about the industry.
Band first or sound guy first? You were in a band before being a sound guy?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so you were in bands and you decided then that you wanted to be the all-in-one package.
Basically, yeah.
The rock and roll road show, if you will.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
It kind of does that.
Comments,
in a way.
questions?
Yeah,
Yeah, in a way,
Now,
for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool because we don't normally get to get like, I would say super geeky on here. It's nice when we do. I enjoy it, but like, so that was that something where it was like a necessary evil, like something that you kind of like got sort of forced at gunpoint to do, and that you end up just like, oh, this is what I do now, or is this like, were you
funny,
were you
basically-
stoked about it at the
episode.
beginning?
Well, basically, the group of kids that I jammed with and got this idea on, we were all poor, so we couldn't afford to just pay money to go to a studio to have a demo.
Fair enough.
So we were like, all right, well, what kind of shit do we have? And this was like right around the time digital recording really started taking off.
So it was more about recording than it was about live sound at that point.
Yeah.
Or
it was more about
the
capturing
impetus of it.
Yeah.
Can I just have a side note here?
Yeah.
I'm looking at this fortune cookie.
What's your
here, and
Chinese
on the
word
other
of the
side
day?
of it, it says "Learn Chinese." And
Yeah,
tell me where
what's your-
I had a long fucking day. Okay, just put it there.
What's
Okay,
your word
I
of the
might
day?
be totally stupid right now. Okay, but it says "Learn Chinese," and then it says "Quan Yi Bing," but it doesn't say what it means.
Oh, it doesn't. No, it says it's fortune cookie.
That's what it
That's
means.
the word
Does
for
yours
fortune
say
cookie.
the same? What's yours say?
I don't know.
Did I literally
Let's
get the
see.
one that literally
Please add hot water. I do like
Oh.
that this particular batch of fortune cookies is like nothing
So
but Chinese
how
food.
would you pronounce a QI? A key?
Key? I think it's just key.
Keen? Because that's a Q-I-A-N. Keen?
For our Mandarin
Quan?
speaking
Keen?
audience,
Oh,
I'm
Keen?
sorry.
So sorry.
Bing.
I don't
Well-
know.
Kyubing. Kyubing. It's fortune cookie.
Mine is money or dollar, and it's Kion. Kion.
You got it.
Con.
You got
Kion.
it.
No,
Nailed
Con.
it. Nailed it.
Nailed it. We're an international
Yeah.
group. over
It's
here.
all. Yeah, it's all. It's,
Represent
a
all
lot of it's
languages and
food.
people
Like
here.
everyone I've
Yeah,
gotten is like
mine's
is like
sesame and it's
crab rangoon,
zima.
etc.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
gonna write
General
a song
Tso's.
now in Chinese.
Yeah.
I think we should write
I
a.
represent the culture. Well.
Yeah. But anyways, Dave, I'm so sorry.
sorts of
I'm so
food.
sorry, Dave. Dave, back to you.
So you came in right
Yeah.
when like were you doing? Now we're talking like ADATs and stuff like at that point, or
Well, actually, we were messing around with. We started messing around with those shitty Tascam 4-track
oh sure
cassette
Yeah, yeah.
player things,
Yeah.
and we kind of weren't really getting what we wanted out of that.
Mhm.
So we actually just took a computer and stuck a couple of sound cards in it and started off like that. This was like kind of right before they started having like purpose-built sound cards and started really getting into digital. Because I mean, at that time, you were still paying like $20,000 for a cheap digital rig. you know what I
Right.
mean?
Like going like those early like the rack ADAT stuff and everything else.
Yeah.
That's fuck. dude.
What? Just for my curiosity, what year was this when you started really messing around with sounds and stuff like that? Rough. Let's not be exact.
Like 1995.
Okay, so
Okay.
mid '90s. Okay,
Yeah. So dedicated sound cards. That's you want to talk about like shit that is just not
Like sound blasters, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah. Or half of the shit you buy or whatever. Like you can't do that anymore. Of like buying a sound fucking sound blast. That's
now-
fucking insane that you just said sound blast. I have not thought about that piece of
I
like
have no idea what
of
you're talking
hardware.
Me either. I was
Yeah,
wrong for the
I'm
ride.
So
Me and
goddamn
you, bud.
long.
Me and you, but
Bam. We're along for the ride today.
I got no
Well, you
idea.
know-
This is a-
you know what made it
guys,
work
You thought it
was,
was a me and him. It's a you and him.
I guess
They
so.
had-
Yeah.
What actually made it work was at that time, not to get too far into the weeds with it, but they.
we can get in the weeds.
Let's,
No, you go for it, man.
Let's
So
get in
point.
the weeds.
I'm excited about getting.
Well,
in the
no,
weeds.
well, not to get too
Well,
far
whatever,
into
yeah.
the weeds. At that period of time, computers were just starting to be good enough to where you could have more than one of the same kind of card in the machine without having to really hack it together.
Yeah.
Because a PCI standard came out instead of
No
the
idea what
ISA
you're
standard.
talking about. Keep going.
And so you could finally just take two sound blasters, throw them in a computer, and use them both.
Two sound
And that's
blasters.
what we did.
Just
Which,
smile and nod your head, yeah.
which sounds like,
Yeah.
you know, you're
then-
probably just like, well, what, like, what's the
before
big
you-
deal?
I have
an idea
What's
what
the
you're
big
probably
deal?
talking
You couldn't do that
Pretty big
before.
deal,
Just
actually.
being funny.
Yeah. And then like maybe 5 or 6 years after that, you started seeing like the 4-track dedicated
I know
cards.
4-track.
Yeah.
Like the first M audio cards started coming out
Yeah,
like
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
5 or 6 years after that.
I mean, we're talking probably, we're talking pre-Pro Tools, I think, by that point.
Talking
By-
Pro-
Pro
man.
by a
Tools
decent
was
by a decent margin
just
too.
starting to be a thing.
Yeah.
Cakewalk
Not
was
the
starting
industry
to be a
standard
thing.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cubase was started. Actually, Cakewalk, Cubase, and one other one that I can't think of off the top of my head.
This guy will
It
tell you.
became Audition, Cool Edit.
Audition. Yes, cool. Yeah. Oh my
Those
God,
were the ones.
Audition.
Those were the big players at that time.
Well before Reaper and everybody
Well
renewing
before-
their
Yes.
subscription.
Which
Yep.
Reaper is awesome, by the way. Anybody that's going to use
Or
Reaper,
not
just go
renewing
pay the
as it is.
$60.
Or don't. You don't have to. That's the beauty
Or
of it.
use it free
You can-
forever and
you
just,
can
you know,
also
click on the
straight up
thing.
not do that if you don't want to. That's even cooler.
Yeah, I have been using that program for free, and I don't even know what I'm doing. It's
Dude.
great.
And they'll never
I
actually
record-
make you pay for it. So.
I've tried to make podcasts. It does not sound good when I do it.
Well, all right. Here's the thing about stuff like Pro Tools, stuff like Cakewalk, stuff like Reaper, is that with those name brand things, the way you're paying the hundreds of dollars for the thing, they're coming with a default configuration that works for most people, and most people like, and you can get it going without too much trouble.
Sure.
Reaper, since it's basically free, you have to figure out what your defaults are. Like, if you look into the settings, you can set the panning law to like 5 or 6 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make it sound like Cakewalk. You can make it sound like Cubase. You can make it sound like, an Allen and Heath. You can make it sound like anything. But
Anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Very modular piece of software, super cool. That's the thing is like, it is,
Which way is this going?
Whatever
despite
way
it
you
being-
want it to go, baby boy.
No, I'm good. Despite it being like inexpensive or like appearing like it could, you look at Pro Tools, whatever. Like, obviously, it's a
Pro
monthly,
Tools is really good.
of course,
but
it's
you
like
get-
what it
you
is.
get
It's,
what you
it's
pay
a
for.
monthly subscription, and it's and even then, like a lifetime membership when they used to like exist were like a lot of fucking money. So if you're really looking at things like this, especially in the production and hardware kind of worlds and stuff, like these things that on paper it's like, oh, it's more expensive, so it's better. Not
You're paying
necessarily the case.
Yeah, you're paying mostly for the configuration.
Yeah.
I gotta put a halt in this nerding. We got stuff to cover, but
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
We can get because this is something we can
we are in the beginning.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
By the way. I'm just
we can get deep in the weeds on all
That's
this
my
shit.
job. I'm moderating today. Okay, so
I have questions.
I'm
about
going
what
to keep this going. Let's just give it a final 2-minute thought on that. Okay.
Anyway, shit's cool. That's
Oh,
why.
yeah.
It's cool that you can do what you need to do when you need to do it. And there's many ways to do that now.
I would say that just trying stuff is a really good way to go. Just try stuff.
I agree with that fully in life. Just try.
It's like
just
Josh
do
Scott
things.
says,
Yeah.
just try
You
stuff.
never know what's going to happen from just doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just phenomenal. Anyways, Dave, so you're basically now you're learning how to be a sound guy so you can make it easier for your bands. Where did you learn? What did you learn? How did you learn? What's up?
All right, so I basically spent a lot of time in Providence, and
Okay.
I spent a lot of time around.
What,
Let's see,
What years are we in?
the
right
Century
now?
Lounge. I started hanging out
boy.
there.
Then, now, if you guys don't know the Century Lounge, if you do know Askew, which is also no longer a venue anymore, same spot.
Rhode Island is the
Right?
the
Isn't that
land
the
of
same
former
spot,
venues.
Century Lounge?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then it was yeah. I'm getting nostalgic. Go ahead.
Yeah, so places like that.
Now, were you linked up with Pat at that point?
I've actually known Pat since I was a kid.
But at that point, were you linked with him on sound? Did he bring you in, kind of, or like did he have any involvement?
We've been
or
messing
did you-
around. We had been messing around with bands since we
So
were
he
kids.
was in on
and
it.
and we actually had this idea together.
Mm.
So I had this,
So
me
you
and him.
both got into sound around the same time.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we both wanted to just learn everything so we could record ourselves.
Yeah. Now, if you don't know out there, we're talking about Pat. I'm sure he doesn't want me to say his full name on here. That's how he is. But he's been a sound guy in Providence for a
He's a
long
great
time.
guy.
He's a great sound
He's
guy.
if you get him on
yeah.
your show, you're gonna be in good
I
hands.
remember in probably 2012, 13, 12, maybe, I met him. He was actually working under Dan Baldwin and
Right.
why am I missing?
Shout out Dan Baldwin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the legend.
Yeah, and he was working under Dan and Mike, and I was obviously the guy at Simon's, so he was the guy coming in to train with them or whatever he was doing. I don't know if he was established or not at the time, but I knew that he was kind of working his way in over there. I met him, and then from there, I saw him at Firehouse 13, and that's where I met you. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering, we're talking here like probably like 2015, like I said. So obviously,
Yeah.
what year did you start doing sound for shows?
Oh, that started at Firehouse 13.
That started at Firehouse.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah, I actually kind of got serious about it at Firehouse 13. And I had a couple of pretty good shows there, too. That was an awesome venue. For
So
shows.
I have legit been there for your whole career.
Yeah.
Cool.
I miss Firehouse
I miss
13,
it.
man.
Right.
That's
So-
fucking crazy.
I know.
We're gonna wind it back a little bit, okay? And we're gonna go back to the time where you learned sound to help your band out, okay? Now we're talking 2012 here, 2013. Well, the Firehouse days
That
were
was-
probably
that-
like 2015.
Yeah,
14,
that was
somewhere around
14,
there.
15 to 17.
Yeah, so
And then they were gone.
It was 7. I thought
17, no, because I
Yeah.
remember one of the last shows was
That's
the,
right.
oh my God. help me.
I actually did that a
Ailstorm.
lot.
It was Ailstorm. I think it was
I did
one.
that show.
Yeah, that show. Okay, I was
My
there.
show.
Yeah.
That was an
My
awesome
show.
show.
That was an
dude.
awesome show. Yeah.
That show.
So
Oh, my
Ailstorm
God.
was awesome when I did it. I did Amorphous there. I was talking. You
Amorphous
ever heard of
was
Amorphous?
awesome.
Yeah,
that was
dude.
sold.
Amorphous
That
is
F out. We
sick.
could have sold that over twice.
Yeah, that band rips.
We had a lot of great shows in that building. We got all nostalgic earlier on it. But where was I on
Psycho
this?
Stick played there. That was a good show.
Yeah, we're talking about when you
Mothership
started
played
it.
there.
Mothership,
That was
so
a good show.
If we're talking maybe 2014, maybe we're generous and we say 2013 here. You started to get the idea of learning and doing it.
As far as getting the idea of doing it, that was the kind of thing when me and Pat would like record bands.
Yeah, it's cool because
So it was less so live sound and
Yeah.
more recorded
I
sound.
think I surfaced around 2010 back in the scene. I think that I was like kind of like, yeah, I was managing this band,
Oh yeah.
Constance Alive. I like, and then I was like, all right, like, why do all the promoters suck? No offense to promoters, but. And I was like, I should just do the show.
I mean, why does anyone start doing anything?
I just started
when there's,
asking
like,
questions.
That's why I'm a sound guy.
I was like, wait a minute, how do you?
Yeah.
I like,
Everybody starts doing
Yeah.
stuff because they would rather do it themselves.
yeah, I'm just. That's what you
just,
do.
you
You just
know,
ask around. How do you do this? What's the rent here? What's there? And I was like, oh, I could just rent the place for $300. Like,
Yeah, so I actually have a good question for you. So, I am literally the last person to know anything about the behind the scenes or the sound or anything like that. How do you get paid? Is it based on how many people? There you go. Is it how people come in?
dude
Is there
just
a
comes
contract?
right out with it.
I don't need to know money, but I'm just kind of curious
It
of the
depends.
I'm gonna
percentages.
say-
and
I'm
stuff
gonna
like
It
that.
say-
really depends on the venue.
Respect. It's
Okay.
a respect thing in Providence and in the scene. It's literally a respect thing. And sometimes he's
Yeah.
got to take the goat, and sometimes they take the goat. You know what I mean? That's how. it
Yeah,
works.
no, I just say no. If it was like a
Um,
percentage, I have no idea.
No.
Hopefully, they're not doing it
You
for free.
talk, but
yeah.
it's funny because I've like paid so many sound guys, so I want to like,
Sure,
speak
sure,
on
sure,
this
sure,
so
sure,
bad.
sure,
but,
sure,
like,
yeah.
he's the sound guy.
Because it's for us as
You
musicians,
talk.
it's a probably completely
Every
different deal
venue
from you
is
guys,
different.
yeah. Okay.
Some places pay an hourly rate.
Oh,
Some
okay. Yeah,
some
okay.
places pay a flat fee.
Yeah, sure.
And
It
it
just
depends
depends
on the
where you're
show
at.
too.
You want the
because-
flat fee at the end of the day, but unless the hourly rate is lucrative. But
Sure.
Right.
I like to give my sound.
Yeah,
guys an
it
a-
dep-
a
it
It
flat.
really
just
depends
depends
on
on
the
what
room.
venue you're at. So
I think you
Okay.
prefer flat. I like to give you flat. You know what I mean? Unless like it's going to be a long.
It depends.
show.
Yeah, if it's
Um,
going to be a long show,
But
I'd rather
there's
get
ways
hourly.
to get a flat fee that dictates long shows too. So it's kind of double edged
gotcha,
sword.
gotcha. So I have another question. So I feel like I'm just because these are all things that I think of. I've been doing this for
No, it's a good question.
about
'cause,
7 years
you know,
and stuff like that.
7 years. Here he is.
For I know I'm the baby in this group. So just with I can only speak on my end and the band's end for dealings with just sound guys just all over the various venues in New England and stuff like that. What is your biggest pet peeve? Just when it comes to, is it
This is a good question.
is it just guys once you get a tone in they start messing
Especially
up the
sound
knobs?
guys having the reputation
All right.
that they do being
Exactly.
I actually have
cantankerous too.
two pet
You
You
already
be the
know
man
the
to know,
answers to
so.
this question. It's funny because he's probably just going to validate a lot of what you've been suspecting.
Well,
and,
I
you
don't
know what I
know.
mean? 'Cause,
So
like,
you could
oh, we
talk
know.
to me. Yeah, that's
I
fine.
definitely know
So-
what he's going to say because I've been dealing with sound guys complaining to me about it for years.
Now,
it's exactly what it looks.
I actually have two pet peeves.
Sure.
And the first pet peeves is the vocalist that does not sound check at stage volume.
That's
That
not me, though.
fair. I mean, fair point. That's
You
just
know,
that's
check-
just a
check-
sabotage
doesn't
move.
cut it. If you're going to be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
do that.
I
That's
gotcha.
not me.
Okay.
I always do
I
my
see what you're
thing,
saying.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
that
if
way
you're
I get
gonna
an
raise
accurate
it, you
picture
need-
of what you're going
Some
to
people
do.
don't understand the
I
importance
never
of
thought about
sound
that.
check. It's so
Yeah,
damn
it's-
important to get a sound check in
It's
a
the
good
difference
one. You
between
know what I
whether your
mean?
band's
'Cause,
going to sound like shit or
yeah,
not.
it's literally so.
It really is.
I didn't think
If
about
you
that.
can't
That
hear
does
the
make
drums,
sense,
if you
yeah.
can't hear the vocals, if you can't hear
That's why
the
I'm always
bass,
flipping out. Like we got to get there. Like
So-
on a headliner, especially.
I know, yeah, we
we
know
got
that.
to get there early so we get a full. Like it's nice too. You really should take the day off, get there early, have some food, go to the venue. Get your stuff on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah.
Have a nice little jam session on stage, getting it sounding good. And
Yeah.
then later on that night, he just pushes a button and you're good to go. You know.
So
and the second
yeah,
pet
go ahead,
peeve,
go ahead, yeah.
the second pet peeve is guys that go like this.
Listen,
because
sometimes you
that
gotta,
ruins
okay?
my ability to make you sound good.
Okay.
It
So this is
does.
more from
It
the
does.
vocalist side
Yeah,
than
it
the
does.
instrument
Sometimes we're
side than anything
selfish,
else.
Dave.
No.
Sometimes
What?
we're selfish.
It's okay.
vocalists.
Just be selfish.
Sometimes
down
we
here.
would just listen. Sometimes it just sounds a little rock and roll to just cup it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, sure. I mean,
I don't like to do it, but sometimes it's just like I
price
don't know.
we- the
Sometimes
price
I'm
we
like
pay.
failing as a vocalist,
and that's more addressing an urban myth. Because a lot of
Sure,
people
sure.
think that helps.
helps me out a little
It
bit.
kind of doesn't.
when I'm in need.
Okay. Oh,
You know.
cool. All right, good to know. So when we do, again, bear with me.
Yeah, I got questions.
In
You're
the
gonna
sure,
wrap
sure.
this
same
up.
old drill
Question
instruments.
8
If
over
you
here.
are giving me a sound check and your instrument is not at your stage volume, you're fucking yourself.
That's what I was going to say. Okay, so I'm saying.
Well,
so
that's
we're
true.
Doing,
And don't turn your amp all the way up. Like,
No,
you don't need to do
no,
that.
no.
You're going through
Yeah.
a microphone, which can put it at either put it
Oh yeah,
lower
yeah.
so
That's
it hears
that's
the
the
tone.
other
I don't
thing.
know.
Is
No.
it-
Like,
unless
it's
it's a
just-
flaw show, let the
Yeah.
front
yeah.
of house
so
push you.
when we're doing sound
I've
check,
been with
though,
so many
I'm sorry.
guitarists, Mike Levesque especially, that's like, I'm just gonna crank it every show. And I'm like, dude, you don't need.
You only need to do that on a floor show.
I'm
Like,
also
if you're
very
playing at
guilty
the
of
hill.
that.
Yeah, do
Probably.
it,
I don't
you
know.
know?
I've never noticed with you guys. I don't really.
So-
I've been like very like show up and
Yeah.
and
I'm
go with the flow.
I am beyond guilty of that.
No, so
You don't
and
need
I'm
to do
not
that.
sorry.
You don't need
It
to
will
do
happen
that.
again.
Yeah, people literally like bands like, oh, can I play with my combo amps? And show up with combo amps and
Like,
play with them.
good.
And it sounds fucking killer
Yeah.
mixed through a fucking PA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like. I don't
Yeah.
know, like it's like it feels good and it's badass to say it, but it really isn't necessary.
So just to go on that again, this is for my own educational purposes. Probably could help me in the future. So when we're doing sound check, like some of the bass, you want me to play like how I play on stage. So if I'm attacking the shit out of it for like some stuff, is that's
Yeah,
something you want to
be
like,
where you're
me,
at.
Me, every sound guy is different, but me personally,
Okay.
I would prefer you to be playing like you're
prefer
going
it.
to be
Okay.
playing.
Okay.
That
Even
way I
if
know
it
what
makes
to
it a
expect.
pain in the ass for you to get a volume in, you rather take
Well,
that.
here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Your cat
If
is,
you
like, in a
are
mood.
given like, all right,
painkillers.
so
Oh, is that why?
for a bigger
Yeah.
room,
Loop,
there's two
loop,
sound
loop.
guys. Actually.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
There's one for the mix monitor,
Yep.
monitor mix, and then there's another sound guy for the front of house.
Yep.
But for the smaller rooms, there's one sound guy that does both.
Okay.
So it really depends on what you're talking about.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I don't think we've ever had two sound guys at once. Did we?
That's pretty
Yeah,
fancy.
you
That's
have,
pretty
and
fancy.
Yes, you do. And if you
Okay,
bet-
so my bad. I'll go fuck
If you
myself.
ma- if you
want
played
me-
in
want
a
me
big
to-
band,
I'm
you've
sorry,
had
I
two
don't want
sound
you to go
guys.
fuck yourself, okay? But I am
Lupus.
gonna prove you wrong right now.
That's totally fine.
Right now, I'm gonna ready, and you're gonna remember it.
Okay.
You're gonna remember it, okay? When we played the Met.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't
Did we-
remember.
I don't remember. I don't believe you. I don't.
Did we play the Met?
Yes, we
We
did.
did,
No,
yeah.
we did. I didn't
Yeah.
realize we had two
There's
sound
a
guys.
sound
yeah.
guy on the side. He
Yeah.
does a monitor mix.
Oh.
And there's a main sound guy up in the booth.
Yep.
Well, shit. Okay.
Or
okay. That
sometimes
makes
you
sense
got
now, yeah.
three people. Sometimes you got a main sound guy, and then you got your monitor guy, and then you got a lighting person up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's usually Devin.
Yeah, so I know. Yeah, Devin. Shout out to Devin.
JD.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
right. The Met. That's I didn't notice that Met. There was two. There was two guys.
Yeah, there was some
wasn't
people-
really
some
paying
people
attention.
running
Oh,
around.
Yeah.
What did I tell you?
Yeah, right,
Tell
yeah,
me
okay.
that
I forgot all about
I'm
that.
trying to go
I
fuck
bet,
yourself,
you
bro.
know.
So what I would say to
Yeah.
answer your question,
Yeah.
follow the direction of your sound guy.
There's
Not only that, but you've experienced
they're gonna
it
have their
been
druthers,
mixed
you know what I
by
mean?
two people. Like it's
fucking A.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's the best mix you'll ever get, in my opinion. I love when I see that there's a monitor person. Like I went up to the Jewel in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yeah, having a
I-
monitor mixer guy.
I don't
is
think they're a
separate from
venue
front of house
anymore,
is kinda
but
cool.
I think that's not a thing after January 1st. So I think that's done. You heard it first. But when I showed up there and there was like a monitor person, I was like
fancy pants. Ooh.
And it was
How about
monitor
that?
sounded the
You're in
best
a big
monitor
room
I've
if
ever
you got
gotten.
two sound
Like,
guys.
it's like-
So you can both fight
That
each
means
other
there's
the whole
two
time.
separate consoles too, by the way. That means that they have two things running. That means they have
Yes.
their separate sound for the audience, and then they have it's like the band's own sound. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Okay.
Otherwise,
That I heard
if it's
before,
one,
but okay.
if it's one, this is I'm telling you the main purpose and how it has advantages. When it's only one person, they can't do that.
Right.
Okay.
That's why
You
the monitors
kind of
are-
have to think with two
like,
brains.
Oh,
Okay.
another thing
Because-
is effects. So if there's a guy standing on the side of he can put effects, the same effects that you know what I mean. Whereas when one guy's doing it right, it has to be the audience gets the effects and whatever he's doing to mix it, and you get the dry.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing too. And
Which fucks with my
this is
head.
less true with when you have two sound guys because they're doing something completely different. But when you are the only sound guy and it's a smaller room, one of the things that ends up happening so that you can get a good balance between the band being happy
Dropping
and the
knowledge.
audience having something that's good to listen to
Yeah.
is one of the things that we'll do is we might let you monitor yourself, but you might not realize it because of the stage volume being loud.
Sure. Yeah.
So I might deem that, like standing in the crowd with my iPad, I might deem that, all right, they're loud enough, I can take you out of front of house. And you'll be just driving yourself because you're loud enough.
Yeah.
And you won't be in the front of house. You'll be in the monitor so everybody else can hear what they need to hear.
It
but-
certainly happened. I think probably
And-
we're kind of a loud stage volume
yeah.
band, so it's
Right.
definitely that's
I
happened.
feel that's
And-
supposed to
and-
happen before.
happens
And that's
often
actually
enough
the
to us, I
reason
think.
why it happens.
Yeah.
Because if I'm giving, all right, let's just for an example, if I'm giving him you
Yeah.
so he can hear and be able to play,
Yeah.
and the act of me giving him you makes you loud enough for the audience, I don't need to put you in the front of house.
Yeah. Makes sense because I'm just driving everything.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
There. I felt Dust did that a lot because it
Yeah,
was so
they
tiny.
probably-
it was
they
so
probably
tiny
did.
there. Yeah.
yeah,
Because that was
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
room
pretty-
was
I
pretty-
hugged it for a
pretty
small
You were
room.
yeah,
blessed
minimal
that you played
monitor
Dust because you
situation.
got Danny Baldwin. That's my boy. That's back to Simon 677 again. Dan
true.
Baldwin was
Yeah.
my sound guy.
that
there.
room was hard to mix too. That room was exactly like the Firehouse actually as far as mixability. It's a big
So
cinder block thing.
Yeah.
It's
You
weird
know
because
what
I
mean?
always felt like front of house in that room always like generally speaking like sounded pretty fucking good.
That's
I
because
mean,
of
they
the sound
didn't say
guys.
it didn't sound
Yeah.
good. It was set up right and had the
Shout out
right
to
sound
sound
guy to
guys.
figure out that
Yeah.
room. Not every
yeah.
sound guy could figure out that room.
Yeah,
you
that's
Dan
true.
Baldwin figure that room
Yeah.
out like a fucking.
In the hands of a much less competent
Yeah.
guy, that would probably be a pretty
I
rough
think he
room
had
to
he,
play,
he
but
had
it
a
always
right,
sounded really
He had
good.
a sick right hand over there too. He had Vinny Bellows, and he's a former barbarian. member
Vinny's
as well.
actually really good.
Vinny's really good, and
Yeah.
he's a
Shout out-
solid
shout out Vinny.
number sidekick. Because Danny lost Mike Day. Not lost. He's alive. I'm saying he stopped doing
Like he's
sound. He
dead.
went to his other profession, whatever he's doing. Love him to death. Wish that he did still. Wish I could see him out. I have seen him out, and sometimes he comments on my things, and I love him. But Mike Day, shout out. And then he got, Vinny Bellows came into the mix, and I think that was like a very solid move for Dan.
Mike Day was
over
still
at
around
Dusk.
during
It really
Firehouse,
made
wasn't
it really made the Dust sound, better and better. And they instituted the pad and like
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah,
Dan
they
Baldwin
were really
was
doing a lot with a little
roller
because it was a
skating around
small
the
front of
venue,
house like mains like
with his,
situation too. Just getting good stuff, instead of overdoing it with like
their
a lot of
sound
garbage.
team like amazing, and I never had a bad show there sound wise. It's just
Well, I think all the best sound guys, the three things that they make sure that the crowd hears are drums, bass, and vocals. If you hear those three
Shout out bass
things, you're going to
players.
have a good night.
yeah. Bass players, you can just plug right into the DI.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
It gets the job done pretty well.
So Dave, let's go back to it a little bit here. The years between 1999 and 2012, when we started your sound guy career, what did you do for bands? Who were your bands? What were the names of them? Give me everything from that time period. Like give me your history of bands.
Okay, so
Let's go through your history. Dave's history of bands.
sometime in the early 90s, me and Pat decided to start we'll call it a band.
Okay.
Where
Well, let's talk about first genre.
Generally speaking, it always gravitated towards punky kind of rock.
Go ahead, continue.
Of various flavors, you know. So our main mantra always was, you know, we're going to write music, and whoever's around while the music is being written is going to be around as the music's being written. And if we come up with something that we can put in front of people, then great. You know.
Fun project with your friends. Young age,
oh,
I'm sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So me, Pat.
Did you have a name?
A bunch of different names. Jesus.
Well, let's okay. Give me a couple.
Backwoods.
Backwoods.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the other one? Fucking. Oh, Acid Binge.
Nice.
Were the two
Nice.
That's a good name. I'm gonna steal that.
Shout
bro.
out to Jake Greenhall.
That's pretty good.
You know. Yeah, those were the two main names that we used, and we played out of this shack
Backwoods,
from
bro.
a guy named Stan. He was the singer in the band.
Who? Stan, you said?
Stan Lushka. Yeah, he's dead now, but he was in the bands, and we would play at his shack out at the border of.
Dude
Johnston.
had a shack.
Yes, it was called Blood Farm.
It was called what?
Blood Farm.
Okay,
No,
dude
very
had a
nice.
shack called Blood Farm.
I don't know that I would want to go to a
Please
shack
continue.
called
Please indulge me. Okay?
And his father,
Leery of
one of
doing
his
that.
chores was he had to fucking neuter the fucking pigs.
He had a
Sounds
neuter.
like Western Rhode Island.
Okay,
right
what,
there.
here's
Is that
your
what it
chore.
is? Yeah,
Here's
that's
your
exactly
chore
what it
for
is.
the day. Go neuter the pig.
Boston,
And how much
Boston.
you
right
got to pay?
behind the pigsty
What was his
is where we
allowance?
would
Like
practice
fucking
in this
$1,000?
building that was just kind of put there off of a trailer, so it kind of
Yeah.
didn't even have a foundation.
Definitely
like you
Foster
could
Gloucester.
rock the fucking house.
Okay,
literally.
rock it up.
And so we were playing out of there for a while, and you know we ended up
Wait, so
playing.
wait. I'm picturing like a barn with animals in it, and you guys are just
Just
rocking
picture,
out to
just
the
picture
pigs
the
are
lack
flying.
of, just picture the lack of animals. Picture like oily, broken farm equipment.
Oh, and you were like in a garage or a barn? Sorry, I'm just.
Yes,
I want it to be a barn so bad.
Yes,
Like-
yes, at different periods of time. Because at
Was
one
there
point,
hay in it?
no,
Damn it! All right.
no, it was a
garage.
tractor. Well, okay, it was fine.
It
It
held
was a,
tractors, whatever.
So you were playing guitar at that time?
It would have been cooler if there was animals and it was a barn, but I
That would
don't
be
know.
there was
Accept your
animals
story.
close by, and they were getting fucking nutted.
Okay.
What was
Okay.
So
you went there.
So you as a guitar player at that time, I was kind of like
Guitar.
want to dig into. This
Yeah,
is
were
always
you
like fun to
guitar?
dig into.
Or
What
were you vocals?
At that time, only guitar.
what was your? Do you remember what your rig was back then? What were you playing back then?
Oh, shit.
Oh shit! Okay.
Talk about some old fucking probably PVs or something.
No, I had a Music Man RD100.
Oh, wow.
And basically what that is it's a Fender, except instead of having a tube preamp, it had a solid state preamp, but it had tube power stage.
Yeah.
It's 4 6L6s.
Yeah.
And it was basically a Fender with the issues fixed.
Just a big fucking
Big
old
loud,
combo.
heavy
Yeah.
fucking combo that you could just, oh my God. You
Yeah.
could just get feedback forever, and it was great. I loved it.
Mambo, bombo, baby.
Fuck yeah.
So just that straight into that.
Straight into that.
What were you playing for guitars back then?
I've actually always played Les Pauls.
Just,
Pauls,
just doing Les Pauls then too. Yeah, I mean,
like
It's got the
I-
rock.
yeah. I mean,
I had a Fender when I was a kid, and then I had a Les Paul copy that had
Hondo or something.
no, it was a Honer.
Honer. Yeah. Okay.
It was
okay.
a Honer Les Paul.
Yep.
And it had the fucking one of the
Bixby?
whammy bar.
I had an ovation.
Well, it had one of the
applause.
whammy bar things on it.
Yeah.
Hardback.
So I had that for a while, and then I got rid of that and got a real one. Well, I ended up getting the Epiphone because I ended up getting one of the 90s.
Epiphone was all the
Epiphones
rage
that were
back then, so it makes
was
sense.
basically a Les Paul with different screen print on
Good old
top of the
Yes and his
headstock.
Paul.
Yeah.
So I got one of those, had that for a while, got rid of that. My most recent guitar is a Les Paul Studio.
Oh, cool.
And basically, I got one of those because it's not a flashy paint job, but it's the electronics of the Black Beauty.
Right. Yeah. I just picked up a. I'm like an ESP guy, but I'm a Les Paul guy, and I just got an Edwards, one of those like
those are good
the
too.
Japan like lawsuit ESPs.
Yeah,
I
no,
just got
those
like
are like
an Edwards like Les Paul custom, like a double bound like Black Beauty situation.
This sounds wonderful.
I've always wanted a custom, and I was never going to be able to afford one.
How
So
you
I
hold
just
on
finally
to this?
finally
I'm
tracked
here-
one
I'm
down
here.
as a quit my job present to myself over the summer. Fucking things are so cool.
nice.
Oh, it's so cool.
Usually you get someone you get promoted, but when,
Yeah,
you
well, you know,
want the opposite.
they can suck.
That's
my
fine.
dick. So
That actually that leads to a good question. So does different instruments, like different basses and guitars, wherever they may be, does that require a readjusting for when you're mixing? Is there like a
Yes.
So okay, is there a specific guitar or a bass, or okay, is there a guitar or bass that you really like mixing? Or when you're doing sound, is there some that you really hate doing because of what? This is stuff you would know better than me, but
I mean, I feel like at gig volume, the guitar matters less and less.
The only
Okay.
time I really kind of wish people prepared more is when it's an acoustic in a loud setting, because they really should block their sound holes.
yeah, okay.
Sound
I didn't
holes.
think about that.
Okay.
Because if you have an acoustic guitar and you want
Yeah.
and you're running a pickup, you're also getting the feedback from that sound hole.
Okay,
And if you block it, you're still getting the thing from the pickup.
okay, very good.
Now you know.
I know.
I know.
We never did an acoustic show yet.
So-
I'm not sure we ever will, but we'll have to keep that in mind in the future.
So Backwoods, and the other one was Acid
Binge.
What came after that?
What came after that was a hiatus.
Hiatus.
Oh yeah.
Was Like Yeah the Return?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or did you have anything before then?
No, as far as me being interested in being in front of people and yelling at them and making no funny noises, that was started with again with Like Yeah.
I'm going to put a pin in that thought right there, okay? We're going to get to that at the end, and we're going to plug Like Yeah, mad heavy.
No.
But at this point, now we're going back in the story that we've talked about your bands and that you were with Pat, sound guy from Alchemy. And now we're talking about you've become a sound guy now. It's Firehouse 13 in 2014. Boom. Let's talk about that till now, sound wise.
Oh, okay.
Good old Firehouse. Oh,
Talk about when you
what
started.
A venue. I fucking
let's talk
miss that
about
place.
the middle of it, and let's talk about how it is now.
Okay, so you know how there's 2 ways to learn how to ski?
No.
No, I never skied. So
Pizza,
you go
French
ahead.
fries.
I believe
Pizza,
you.
French fries.
There's
I'm
sure
sure I
there
was
is.
too poor to ski. Very poor.
There's 2 ways to learn how to ski. There's 2 ways
Did you
to
mean
learn how
to
to
say that
swim
there's
too.
multiple ways to skin a cat?
A man that carries a cat by the tail learns something that he will learn in no other way. Name that author.
You do it. I don't know.
I was gonna say that sounds like
That was
could
Mark,
barely read
sounds like a
that's
fortune
Mark
cookie
Twain.
to me.
Mark Twain, ladies and gentlemen, Dave right here.
So I carried the cat in 2015 because
Carried the cat.
yes. Oh, absolutely, because I didn't know what I was in for. Holy shit.
Oh, okay. So you, I remember that too. I remember probably
right,
the day
so-
you got brought in. I was there. I'm pretty sure.
So me and Patrick go back a long way, and one of the things that happens with us is that you just do shit. And if you're going to sink, you're going to swim. So because him and I had done so much together as far as learning the ins and outs of recording and stuff like that, we both kind of understood that it's not too big of a leap to go from recording to doing live sound. It's just you have to do it now. You know what I mean? You don't have a chance to be like, nah, that doesn't sound good. You have to be like, okay, you're good. That's what all the good sound guys.
shows.
making confident decisions and
Yeah,
and
that's
sticking to them. That's
all
all.
the best
Yeah.
sound guys
Yeah.
will just listen
Winging
to
it.
what needs to be removed from each track, and they will take it out, and you're good to go. And then what they'll do is they'll fine tune it once you're going on your first song. And most times, by the time you're done with your first song, you're completely dialed in. That's how it works, and that's why sound checks.
And
can be
I'd say that
so
goes
fast.
for support bands though, because headliners get sound checks beforehand and have scenes saved, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Back before you were at the mercy of whatever
there
sound
was
guy
scenes.
you had.
There was back in 2014 on that board at Firehouse. There was scenes.
No, I'm talking about the difference between analog boards and non-analog
yeah.
boards.
Then it's
Night and day,
gaff
night and day.
tape and prayers.
Yeah, like I said, you're at the mercy of whether the sound guy.
Somebody's
going
to put down a little thumb of
But yeah,
gaff tape
the
where
new
you need
boards
to
are
live,
great
if you're lucky.
because you can just set somebody up, and it's 2 buttons, and now your scene's saved, and now I can do the next band, and just go to. So if everybody needs a sound check, they can get one, and their scene will be saved.
Yeah,
it's easy.
And it really helps out, especially for national touring acts and stuff like that. They can actually have their sound guy come in and plug right into the
that's the
right
other
into
thing
the
is,
board
like,
and
So that's
download their scenes. Right?
Another good
right
question.
to the board.
So, have you worked with a national band that's come in with their own sound guy? Like, how's your experiences with that? Do they?
It's
are
definitely
they nice?
not
Are they-
enjoyable usually, but
I figure it's not, but
it's a night out.
I'll tell you, the most enjoyable national act I ever did was Mothership.
Yep.
And I did them at Firehouse.
Psycho show, good show.
And those guys were great. They came in, the guitar player was like, hey, I just got this new rig, because my other shit blew up and I needed something new.
Yeah.
You mind if I test it out? And I was like, yeah, you mind if I sound check you while you're doing it? He was like, yeah, sure. So he's sitting there playing, having a great time with his new gear, you know what I mean? And I'm sound check him in, and he's like, how's it sound? And I was like, it sounded fucking great, you know? He's like, oh, okay, I guess sound check's done, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
a night in the office,
it
and there
really
you go.
depends. But those guys were great to work with.
Awesome.
I'd work with them 100% any day of the week.
Nice.
Any day?
Any day of the
band.
week, even
What about
Sundays.
Christmas Day?
Even Christmas Day.
Wow.
And those guys were
Dude's committed.
hot. They were good.
Right. Cool band. Yeah. I like them.
Word. So basically, you threw yourself into the fire.
Yeah.
You're now a sound guy at Firehouse 13 with Pat. And what are some of the craziest moments in that building?
Firehouse. God, where to start?
Yeah,
Where to start? Okay, do
love
you want to
that
hear
place.
do you want to hear about college parties? Or
I
do
mean,
you wanna
I
hear
know
about-
all about that.
I know.
That was-
I've heard about
Or
those.
do you want to hear about bands that burn their shit?
Either
after
one,
the show?
both.
Both. Bring it all.
Okay, so
Still, I want to hear about that stuff, the extracurricular activity. But I also want to hear about like your biggest like oh shit sound guy moments, or like maybe a band that yelled at you, or maybe something like
my
that.
biggest
you know what I
my
mean?
biggest
what-
oh
yeah.
shit
That's what I
sound
want
guy
right now with
moment
the
was
dirt.
actually with Mothership.
What?
I said my biggest oh shit sound guy moment was actually with Mothership.
Oh, really? Keep going.
Yeah. Because at that point Psycho wasn't I was still new to Psycho, you know what I mean? And Patrick I believe Patrick had some kind of, thing where he had to be out because he was sick or something like that. I think he had to get an operation, something like that. And so I had to do a string of shows. And one of them was that Mothership show. And it was kind of weird because I came in and everybody was like, don't stress. It's Mothership. You'll be fine. It'll be great. And I was talking to them, and I was talking to the opening act, and finding out what they needed.
He was
getting
talking to
everybody
the
ready.
opening act.
Getting everybody ready, doing everybody's sound check, having that vibe moment with Mothership. So the night had already started off really good.
Yeah.
And
Honk.
then the first act played because it was a 2-act bill. It was the opener and Mothership.
Yeah.
So the first act played, and the singer guitar player from Mothership came over to me, and he's like, "Hey,
You suck. No, I'm just
no." He was like, "Hey, you know how you were doing that stuff for the opening act?" Because what I was doing was I was gassing the chorus and the delay when he was doing solos and shit.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And so the other guy came up to me and he was like, "Can you do that for us too?" And I was like, sure. So I did. And they came up after the show and they were like, oh, that sounded awesome. It was great and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It did, because there's actually a clip of it on YouTube. If you YouTube the Firehouse 13 show of Mothership, I think in 2016 or 2017, that's the show I'm talking about.
That's
Cool.
the show.
Nice.
And you might see Dave in it.
Probably.
Yeah.
There you
Running
go.
around,
Scrambling.
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 Exactly.
I do want to hear some debaucherous shit.
Dave
I wanna hear
always
some
kept
fucked up
it.
shit.
Dave always kept it 100. He never really. Sometimes he get a little frustrated. Sometimes me and him would have it out with each other a little bit, and then we'd be right back.
Well,
to
work
it.
mode's work mode, though.
Yeah, you know how I am as a promoter. As a promoter, we have a very special relationship with sound guys.
I'm
you
sure,
know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like this, it's like the promoter is the direct link to the bands, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's
And
like the
in the
liaison.
middle is the sound guy. You know what I mean? And the sound guy could really piss off the bands, and the bands could really piss off the sound guy.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
kind of like the referee.
I agree. Oh,
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Pretty
It's
much.
like,
Yeah.
right? And it's like,
yeah.
and I'm trying to tell you, and like, my best interests sometimes are like the headlining act I bring, and my client, the headlining act, and the sound guy. I'm like, Dave, if you could please do this, or please, and he's just like, I'm a sound guy. Let me do my, you know what I mean? That's how that goes. The sound guy's always like, I know what I'm doing. Stop telling him. I'm like, no, but I know the band wants this and this. And he's like, no, just let me do my thing. And usually I just let them do their thing, and all is well. And sometimes the band
Makes
gets
sense.
mad. But that's just life.
Nice.
So what was it? What was it about? You said bands burning shit. What's
yeah.
what,
what,
what happened?
okay.
What happened
Yeah,
there?
that
So-
was
Some
an oh
crazy
shit
stuff.
moment.
I
That was
wanted-
a good moment. I'm
this
talking oh
was
shit bad.
Yeah, I want to know what
Yeah,
happened.
This is
no,
oh shit good.
this was total vibe. The total, Firehouse 13 vibe is Psycho Stick
Oh fuck
playing
yeah!
the show and getting tribal with it, so that I kind of, as one of the sound guys, having to follow them around to make sure that they don't trip or unplug or do whatever.
Yeah.
Because they're standing on tables playing. People are carrying them around while they're standing
Yeah.
on
Oh, yeah.
play
Antics.
tables and playing.
Yeah.
Stepping down onto the bar, running outside, burning their instruments in the
So
parking
they
lot.
burned their stuff at that show.
Yes. They burn
That's
their
great.
stuff at every show. It's just a lot of times they do it inside.
And what was the
But
name
this
of
time
band?
they did around back.
Who's this band?
Psycho Stick.
Oh, wait, what? They burned
I've seen them a bunch of times. They never. Man,
Yeah, man,
I got ripped off.
Are
I've
you
never seen them
talking
burn
about the
shit.
same
That's too
band
bad.
that I hosted twice? Once
Yeah.
at Firehouse when you did sound?
Maybe.
Because I didn't remember anything like that. I think you might have the bands mixed up.
Maybe. Who knows?
Crazy hats, big hats,
Crazy Hats, everything's a jingle. Everything's
like
like
a
a remake
like-
of another song.
kind
and
of like
funny.
a kind of a
It's like-
comedy band.
yeah. Then they had their original songs. but
Oh,
like-
wait a minute. Yeah, no,
Maybe
I'm
we're
thinking of a different band.
Yeah, you
I
are.
was
But-
gonna say that doesn't really sound like
Psycho Stick.
But they're
That's
great.
that's the band with the sombrero song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
They're
silly,
also
silly bands, silly
awesome.
boys. Honestly,
And-
very fun band to host, and they pack. They pack
They do.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You should be.
I
I want to
just
know what band
totally
this
had a big
was.
How about,
man.
who was this other band? I'm very
If not,
interested.
it's not
Yeah.
them.
I'll have to remember the name of that band, but Psycho Stick
Let me know when you do.
was also good because that was the first time I ever saw a sombrero just
You're not
turned
talking
into
about
a
Teenage
square.
Bottle Rocket, are you? Or like, I'm thinking about some bands that you might be mixing them up with Psycho Stick. Fucking.
They kind of had a Japanese feel to them a little
Yeah.
bit.
Oh wait, are you talking about Zoolander or P-Lander Z?
Yes,
Hell yeah!
yes.
I don't know them. Oh, huh.
I know a couple bands.
Huh.
That's definitely though. Yeah,
Yeah,
they,
okay.
they hung from the rafters, right? They
Yeah,
got in the rafters
yeah.
and hung, and like
Nice.
yeah, that band is
That's
like
cool.
very unnecessary, and I did not
So
like it.
so that was the band
That wasn't the band I
that
hosted.
was my most. Oh wow,
Yeah, bro.
they might burn the place down.
They pee on things, don't they? I don't know. They're called P-Lander Z. I mean,
P-Lander,
Yeah.
like
Z.
Zoolander.
Yeah, I don't know.
Zoolander,
I mean,
P-Lander.
we could try and just
But
fine.
Psycho Stick was also very fun, and they were zany in the other way because they turned their sombrero into something smaller than that
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
in the space of 3 minutes.
those guys are great.
Yeah. No,
I love
I
those.
have to
Yeah.
definitely check
I,
it out.
love
like-
I would do them again too.
Crazy, like super tight band too. It's like like all kind of like the goofiness aside. It's like as the actual like
That's kind of
the
what makes
guys
it an
playing
art form, bro.
are crazy
they
good,
are just fucking
ludicrously
right on
tight.
it.
Oh yeah.
Shit, yeah.
There's a few. I've seen them a few times, and every time it's just like, man, these guys are like, they're one of those bands where they could be worse and get away with it, and it would be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But
No,
they're just like really, really giving it like some extra juice in the like musicianship department. That's like
that's something
almost
I really
unnecessary.
appreciate about them is that the level of showmanship they have is
Listen, I love
something
it.
to be envied.
Listen, I love it, but I don't know. Like, hey, listen, I want to be that guy, and I've said it many times. Like, I want to be that guy, like the Chariot. Every Time I Die. I'm gonna throw in Great American Ghost because Ethan literally does the things that I want to do, and it's like doing the things that you're really not supposed to do, but you do it anyways, and you get away with it. And it's like. It's all heat of the moment stuff, like climbing on, like at the Palladium. Like,
the wheels are going to come
certain
off at any
bands
time.
can climb all over the Palladium and get away with it. You know what I mean? Like it's like something you just do sometimes. I've done it in the past. I'm still getting used to it as a frontman, but I want to be that frontman that does the wild, crazy shit.
That
you know
could,
what I
well, that's
mean?
what people remember.
The guy
you know?
that's the climbing on the balcony, you're hanging upside, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
nobody,
what I mean? Like,
nobody is going to go home and go, "Wow, that sure was a great show." Where a bunch of guys stood stock still and played everything perfectly, and it was fucking boring.
Yeah,
they're going to say, "Wow, remember that crazy
But
bullshit?"
with that being said, P-Lander Z is just too much for me. Like, you don't need to hang from the rafters of every venue.
I loved it.
I think that when it comes to the fact that you might actually break something in the venue, there's a line. You
Like
know
I
what
was
mean?
wondering
Like,
if the
I don't
place
know.
was going to burn down,
Yeah,
but I was still having fun.
literally,
Yeah,
like,
it's brick. It's a
just-
firehouse.
The college parties were the
It's
same
shock.
way.
It's shock and awe. And honestly, let's just be the deciding factor now. Let's see if they're more famous for their antics or if they're more famous for their P-Lander. See if they're more famous for their music. And we'll just see what it's like. We'll give them a fair shot. We're going to go to their most listened to song, which honestly, 129,000 for their most listened to and 1,005 monthly followers. Looks like they might be on the decline. Not sure, but here we go.
Maybe not around anymore. That's unexpected. I did not know that they were going to sound like that.
So many Mike.
So many Mike.
Somebody might.
So
Somebody might.
they're like a comedy.
This is very like what am I thinking of? Scott Pilgrim. This sounds like
that's it.
this sounds like
Yeah.
something that
So
like
Scott,
this sounds like a Sex Bomb song.
Next song's 94,000, the highest. It's called Taco Taco Tacos. Check
Okay.
out P-Lander Z.
Gotcha.
You might
Okay.
like it. It's kind of punky.
It's fun.
They
That's
don't-
definitely fun.
believe
I don't know
they
that
don't
it's totally
speak
my thing,
English,
but it's
but
fun.
that's okay.
Too many mics.
Yeah,
Or
too
so
many
many
mic.
mics or
too,
so,
it's,
too many.
it's too many Mike.
Too many Mike.
Too many Mike.
So before
We're
we
eating fortune cookies. This is great.
before we go, so I know the other thing that Mike was saying was college parties. So you did sound at what you said? What at Firehouse?
Well,
I'm assuming you did.
yeah.
Okay. That was a very
boy.
Ooh,
Okay,
yeah.
Scandalous.
sound is like I'm sorry to steal your fun thunder, but whatever. Sound is like, I've done so many of these things with him. It's so funny. Like, sound is like what? It's like the DJ sets up on the stage, and it's usually like some college
That's
kid
what I
who's
kinda
like friends
figured
with a
it
bunch
was.
of
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
and he just sets up his laptop. He's like, "Am I good to go?" And then he's like, and then some chick every time walks up to the DJ, is like, "Is there a mic? Is there a mic on stage?" Right? Right? Every time.
Somebody's gonna say the
Is there a
worst
mic?
thing you've
Is there a
ever
mic
heard
on
right
stage
now.
to use? And I'm always like, don't do it, Dave. Don't give him the mic. I hate it. Security would hate it when they have the mic. Yeah.
I can only imagine a college parties going on in that neighborhood too. Good
Oh
Lord.
yeah,
That was
God,
I'll never
would-
forget one of the
A lot of it came for us, and he would know this.
yeah.
A lot of it kept
Like an hour and
to
a half of fun.
curating the kids inside the building and
Yes.
making
Yeah.
sure that
Yeah.
they don't see the back alley.
Yes,
It's
I will
like-
never
Yeah.
forget seeing a 15 drag queen brawl that spilled out from the projects behind the venue, spilled out into like the McDonald's parking lot. It was
Oh,
like
the
there was like
McDonald's
a show
parking
that like my college station had done at at Firehouse in that time. Like, don't go outside right now. There's kind of a lot going on. Like, why? What's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, there's 15 drag queens beating the shit out of each other in the
that
McDonald's.
whole-
like,
that
are you
whole-
kidding me? I'm
I
going
go
out
out
there
there
right
and
now.
watch it,
I
yeah.
need to see
That whole block over there is dangerous, bro.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it's
man.
not
It
where
is
you
not-
want.
it
It's not
is-
where you
no,
want to be.
You don't want to
Yeah.
hang
So,
out there.
I got pulled over one time for being white there.
what the fuck?
100%.
I believe.
I
are you
actually
doing?
can believe
What are
that.
you
in a
doing?
weird
I have
sort of way.
witnesses in the
Yeah.
car of both races
Yeah.
that could literally
The only two that are.
testify that the cop straight up told me, you're white driving through the hood, and I want to know where the heroin is at. And I
Holy
was like, I
shit.
was like,
Dealer.
whoa. I
Yeah.
was like, dude,
Whoa.
like, I have 3
I'm on the way to
employees.
somewhere else, man.
It was after a shift late at night, 4 a.m.
Oh, okay,
after
that-
the club.
yeah,
I was
makes
like, I'm
sense.
dropping these security guards off. I'm like, they live in the hood. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And they were like, all right, we're letting
Make
you
the rent
off.
cheaper somewhere else. What do you want?
It was so funny though. Like he first is so funny. I don't.
That's
I feel
fucking
weird
crazy.
even talking about
This guy
but
does not look like a heroin dealer, by the way.
First, it was so weird. First, the white cop came over and the black cop came over and was met. He was like the mean cop
Yeah,
for some reason.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when I gave him the story that I was just dropping the employees and stuff, the white cop came over.
Okay,
The
and then they
cop
gave
got
you the
bad
like.
cop.
And
the,
he was like, "Oh,
they're like,
sorry, man.
oh.
Sorry about whatever."
Yeah.
And I was like, "This is weird." Like,
Yeah. That's
Right in
fucking,
Providence.
That's fucking crazy. Where's the heroin?
yeah. I was like,
Somewhere else.
no. He
Not even
lives
weed,
down
just
the
right
street.
to
Sorry.
heroin, just right up
Yeah.
there. Jesus.
That actually happened to me in Central
happened to
Falls
you?
too.
Really?
Except they were asking where the crack
mystery
was.
man.
Our mystery man in the back said, "What the fuck did that happen to you?
Yeah, I got pulled over. They searched my car for heroin right outside.
Where was this?
Yeah, right
Are you
outside
serious?
Firehouse 13. I'm not lying.
Holy shit.
And why does
Damn.
everything get confirmed?
Holy
Every
shit.
wild thing I say
That-
gets confirmed minutes later by somebody like AJ with the whole.
Well, no shit. Of you of all people?
That's hilarious.
That is funny.
You can't be white in the hood
Imagine.
driving through like suburban white kid driving
Yeah,
through that
think
area.
you're up
they're
to
like,
something.
They're like, "Yo, he's coming to get
this guy's up to something.
Nick, I guess we have a bunch of heroin dealers. Our vocalist or drummer? Or-
God
guess so.
damn.
Jesus Christ. So, yeah.
I
We
got
didn't have
let
to
me
go
go,
any of
bro.
that, by the
I
way,
had
people out
witnesses.
there.
I have so many witnesses. There were like 3 people in my car. I was dropping off my buddy Cicero.
Were you dropping off people at the hood too?
James Cerritos.
You were what?
Oh, he was with a high school buddy of ours.
Oh, I thought you pointed at me.
Also
like,
not a heroin
like,
dealer.
I
by the
know
way.
this
Not a
person.
heroin
Like,
dealer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I can say that I've thrown dozens and maybe like close to 50 to 100. I don't know 50 to 100 shows maybe at Firehouse 13 at least maybe 100 shows because
A
local
bunch.
shows and whatever the hell was else
Shitloads
going
of shows.
on. And it's just it was a very
A blur of
important place
shows.
to
Yeah.
all of us, I'd say,
Especially
And it's-
towards the
it
end.
still exists. Honestly, it's still there.
Yeah,
It's apartments now.
But
Yeah, it's
I've
apartments
seen
now. Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
point I'm trying to say is that I've seen so much bullshit outside that building. You have no idea. Like I was working my own door for a lot of my shows, and I would have to deal with keeping out a lot of people that were trying to get in and ask for money or whatever.
Well, I'm sure.
You know, so that venue, I have had police rush down that fucking street. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've had all
People's
cars
cars
getting
getting
broken
broken,
into
yeah.
all the time.
Intermingling and such. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Dangerous stuff, gunshots, all kinds of shit. So yeah, I think you could say that that place is historically, no worse than
A place
little
like
worse
that
than the
is
living room was, but living room was
a
bad,
once in a gen type of experience because not everybody's going to get away with it. Because I mean, the worst college party consisted of us basically keeping college kids away
college
from
parties.
a
we were
literal
talking about
riot
that.
going on behind the building.
Yeah.
Were you there that night?
Oh my god.
Do you want
the
me?
riot?
Let me take you through a quick. This is
There was a
how
riot
college
behind
night-
the fucking
This is exactly how a college night goes. Okay, me and Dave show up around like 9:00. And Dave fiddles around, turns on. All he really has to do is turn on the sound system. I'm going to be honest with you.
For a
I've
college-
set up for a college night on sound. Have I not?
Yeah.
I've literally. I used to use. Oh, Mike, you can do it. I'm like, yeah. I turn on the sound system and like plug in the mic, and you know what I mean.
Rock
like,
and roll,
plug in-
baby. There you
it's
go.
Like it's not hard. You know what I mean? Like right. It's like a nice
for the
night
most
off.
for the most part, you're running soundboard security.
So,
Yeah, literally, what you're doing is making sure the college kids don't mess with
No,
this
what-
stuff.
yeah,
you know what
that
I mean?
makes sense.
they're not doing
Because they
anything.
will.
But yeah, 9:00 comes around. I'm
much.
putting out the trashes. He's setting up the thing, whatever. The DJ shows up. you know, we put on some music. We usually would put on the laptop some like music we think they would be listening to and have that going on.
Yeah.
Because the DJ is always late, right?
Depends on how professional they are.
I'm talking about college kids, college parties. It's always like, or like some dude shows up like 20 minutes late. He's like, "Oh, I'm playing before the DJ," and like,
For what it's worth, some of them are into it, so they're right there.
yeah, there was a couple good ones.
Some of them just aren't.
Yeah,
Like there's one recent one that I actually did a fill-in for somebody else at Alchemy recently. There's a kid that's doing these dance.
what's
parties.
his name? Give him a plug.
I don't have his name right now.
Well, his name is nameless.
His name is nameless, but what he's doing is he's actually engaging with the crowd. Like he's actually getting in front of his fucking thing and dancing and doing all sorts of shit. And it's all kids, and they dig it. And
That's
you
all
know
matters.
he's there on time. You know what I mean? He tells me
He's
exactly,
a model American.
You know what I'm saying? But then
I do know what you're saying.
But then there's the kids that come in with the iPods,
Oh,
and it's like, well, hey, I'm here for my dance party.
yep.
It's like, no.
Literally we had so many like girls and guys, dads or moms, like, oh, they just rented this place out for me for the night and paid all the bar tab and like.
Yeah.
Must be
Play-
fucking
That
nice.
must be
I'm
nice.
ready to
Holy shit,
run
that'd be
this.
great.
I'm ready to run this club night, and you're like, "What's gonna happen?" You know what I mean? She's like, "Here's my iPod," and you're like, "Oh, cool." But we're at like 9:00. The DJ shows up around like whatever, late or on time, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
It's now 10:00, and he starts playing some stuff that open DJ around 10:00. I'd say, right? It's a quick setup.
And that's when the security gigs start.
And then we start, security's bored. We usually ordering food or something at that point, and he's usually down on that. And then all of a sudden, it's 11, and you're wondering where the hell everybody is. You know what I mean? You're bored, and you're like, well, we have like 3 hours left of this night.
Yeah.
with what's good, And then around like 11:30. They start.
They all
They
show
show
up.
up
Late
all at
start.
once.
So it's a
all,
college party,
all,
yeah.
Yeah.
all at once. A full club, 300,
Sounds all right.
whatever it is. They all show up at once, and there's a line down the fucking street.
Hard pre-gaming.
Hard
for that.
pre-gaming.
That's
And
what that
you got to
is.
get
That's
that.
what that
You got to
is.
get that line in,
And for
as
an hour
fast
and a half,
as you
it's
can.
a hardcore
Yeah.
party.
Because the cops are circling the block, and if they see a line full of college kids outside your club, they're probably going to pop in to see what's going on and bust your balls a
But,
little
yeah.
bit. So that's the goal. The club owner's always like, get him in as fast as you can.
There you
So
go.
you're trying to get him in all as fast as you can, and it's bumping for like 2 hours. It's like the club can run till 2, but they all leave at like 12:31.
Dude, the pumpkin turns the
Yeah,
chariot turns
and then it's
into
empty,
Oh, yeah.
and it's empty, and like the club owner's like, yeah, I can't pay you guys tonight because everybody paid with their credit card and no one paid in cash. That's how that goes.
Oh,
It
And then we
can-
clean up messes.
I'm
It
sure.
can.
I can only imagine. I don't want to think about it.
It's like a very short period of fun for them, and they love it.
Yeah. Well, kids at that
And it
point,
makes
they
money.
don't know how to. They're not pacing themselves. That's
No.
a
No, you're
that's
just
a,
trying to
That's a
chug
sprint.
through it.
That is a
No,
sprint.
that's-
That is not a marathon,
Yeah,
brother.
It's a sprint. That's all it is.
That's another feature is that all of them come and go in whatever ride they've rented,
Yep.
Yeah, and they all come in
which is
droves.
kind of nice. A lot of that stuff is relatively recent if you think about it. Like the idea of just catching a fucking ride on an app, go downtown.
Yeah.
Get pissed
exactly.
drunk.
Yeah.
It's not expensive like Rhode Island cabs have historically been, and that's why nobody ever used them.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty
It's
cool.
kinda
Hey,
cool.
those people are paying my mortgage now, man. So,
Yeah.
that's
There you
it.
go.
Have you ever
Wow.
had a back and forth with the band
what?
live? Have you ever had like a back and forth with the band, like an argument?
Oh no.
No,
No.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for you.
Kind of surprising.
Dude,
actually.
That's surprising, actually.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Wow.
I was
Yeah.
expecting a story.
I've seen like
I've had bands get pissy, but like
Yeah, what
I'm
was
there
your
to make
most-
them
what was your
sound
most
as good as
pissy
I
moment?
can, and
What was
whether
your-
they appreciate it or not, it's not my problem.
Okay. What was your most pissy moment? Like, what was your most like the band that frustrated you the most? What'd they do? I feel like it was you, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it probably was.
It was you!
It was you,
It was
asshole.
Barbarian.
fuck vocalists.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think the
Animals.
thing that
Animals.
I think the thing that frustrates me the most is like, say you have your stage with your stage box. The thing that frustrates me the most is the band that insists that they use some piece of magic equipment that we already have.
You mean like weird outboard
So,
gear or something? Like
For
come in
instance,
with
when a
that
band
shit.
on
Yeah,
tour comes in and you have, what's the board you guys always use? The
M32.
standard board. Then you have an M32 board and they're like, no, we have to use our M32 board. And you're
Yeah.
like, yo, like we have that board here
It's
already.
sitting
Like,
right
nope,
there.
the
Just load
tour
the
has to use
preset.
our own board. And you're like, it's the same board. I've seen you do
Exactly
I've seen the
that.
struggle. I've seen that's happen so many times. Like, nope, we're going to bring in our own board. We're going to set
Dude,
up in the
it's
middle
an
of the
M32.
floor.
Just throw the fucking
Yeah.
thumb
Yeah,
drive
Ever
in.
been to
exactly.
a show
Wow.
and the sound guy for some reason is just in the middle of the floor?
We can
Yeah.
reset it
That's
after.
what-
It doesn't
why.
matter. It's okay.
Oh, habits.
We'll
time.
live.
It's the
It's
same
good.
board they
You-
have.
You
It's
can
wild.
load your settings. We're good. You can delete your settings after. It's good.
That's
it's good.
they don't really. I feel like they don't have their shit together because the bigger bands that I've seen come through have like a flash drive and they go,
Yeah.
here's our scenes.
There you go.
And you're just like,
No.
oh, boink, cool. You want to do sound? And they're like, yeah, cool. And the tour just takes over sound for the night, and the sound guys just oversees.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So-
I will tell you what, that is one of the biggest things that good, like the newer digital boards have made really fun, is what he was just saying about the idea of the touring act can just come in, throw their thumb drive in, and it's their board.
Yeah. We're gonna sound check real quick. Oh, everything's exactly how we left it. See ya.
Yep. And then they go.
We
eat
just
and-
want to
Easy
make
night.
sure
There you go.
we just want to make sure our stage layout's good. That's really all they care about. At
Yeah.
that
Yep.
point.
Yep.
Which outside
Banners
hands at that
hung
point.
right.
Yeah,
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 you-
yeah.
everything's
working
good,
working
blah,
for
blah,
the
blah.
bigger acts is actually easier than working for the smaller acts.
Of course, of course.
I can believe that was just a whole.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they have their
dealing
shit
with
together,
bands
yeah.
that don't have their shit together is way harder than dealing with. Trust me, that's on both sides. It's on a sound level. It's on a promoter level. It gets sucked sometimes. These bands, especially inexperienced bands with egos, affect both of us really, really horribly because it sucks when you deal with that.
I
With
can see that. Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
You know, the bands that played their first 5, 6, 10 shows and they're doing really, really well for themselves because that first pop.
Sure, yeah.
They start getting the you
Big
know what I
head,
mean?
and they could tell everyone what to do.
Sound.
and-
All of a
and
sudden they're
sound-
asking
I've-
for
I've
weird
seen
things
it.
from the sound
Sure.
guy that don't make sense, and it's just
Yeah.
it's fun. And then they learn, and then they come back. Then they come back and they're like, "Sorry,
Then they get
man.
knocked
Sorry, I was
down.
such a
You know,
dick."
The
It's
pussy
always
on the pedestal.
yeah.
You got to take down the pussy on the pedestal.
But Dave, I feel like I don't know. I feel like we're running into time, or how are we doing here?
You can wrap it up. It's
Yeah, what do we got?
9 o'clock.
Okay, so we're not going
Right
to
about
wrap
what
it
you
up
wanted.
totally right now. I want to go into our final segment here, which is I want to talk about Like Yeah. Like Yeah is a band out of
Foster.
Shepatchit,
Nice.
Rhode Island.
We love those places.
They
I
have-
always love going up there.
You might have seen them play the
Banjos
Palladium.
and all,
Big
yeah.
show for them at the Palladium. They played. You might have seen them play Hills Tavern. You might have seen them play Alchemy.
We didn't play Alchemy, but we did play
you
Askew,
didn't?
and we did play the News.
You
Oh,
played the
News
news.
Cafe.
You
I
know,
love
the News
to play that.
Cafe.
Yeah, I love News.
New
The
band
News
just starting up.
Was
Dave
an
is the
awesome
vocalist.
fucking place to play. It's a little room, but you
Oh,
got-
I've been in there.
Good.
Oh,
Little
I'd say
room,
that.
good vibe.
Little
Big
good
vibe.
vibe. Good vibe. Exactly.
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
What's so that forgive me, so still kind of in the punk neighborhood, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
like rock, punk,
Yeah.
kind of jazz, kind of rock.
Okay.
Oh,
You
okay.
can
Oh,
find
that's
them
interesting.
on all major outlets. You just type in Like Yeah.
Like
And,
underscore yeah on YouTube.
Like underscore yeah, but on YouTube, on Spotify, I believe.
Spotify soon. We're on YouTube
Soon.
and Rumble right now.
YouTube and Rumble. Sorry, not all major outlets like I previously had stated.
Do you have any shows coming up with them, or please plug away? This is your time. Yeah.
Well, we don't have any upcoming shows just yet.
Okay.
We're probably going to be trying to do.
They
some
got
stuff.
offers, I'll tell you that much from me.
Yeah.
But
We're actually wrapping up some stuff so we can release some more stuff.
Cool.
yeah.
Good.
trying to figure
And-
out the logistics of the band right now, right?
Yeah, so we're looking probably towards the spring.
Oh, is there anything you want to ask for the fans for or anything? Or are you good?
Anyone know a bass player?
If you know a bass player, which I'm looking at one right now.
Anyone know a
That'd be a nice,
vocalist?
honestly,
No,
that'd
just
be a nice
kidding.
little
I'm the
side
vocalist.
project for you, Zach.
You know
I feel
what's,
like you would get
what's
along
funny?
with
Everyone
Dave.
in here has all those sides. I'm the only one that doesn't really have one. So I have no time. I have no time with my freaking job.
I would love you to have
One-
nice little
one track
side
mind.
outlet.
One track mind. I just want to get. I just want to get good at one thing.
I got
you know?
two of them.
I'm still trying to figure out the one thing to this.
Yeah,
7
trust
years, I'm
me.
still trying to figure it out.
Well,
so.
Bass,
Well,
it's
so-
fine.
So say we all.
Hold on now. Fighting words over there.
Here's a funny angle to
I
this.
scream into a mic, dude.
My current bass player, right? He's busy off doing his own thing
Sure.
right now.
He's doing it.
But back in the day, he was actually the other guitar player in another project that I was in with him for a while.
Was it Backwoods or was it
this
Acid?
was no, this was an acid
What
band
was it?
either. It was fucking hemp.
It was Hemp.
Yes, I was in a
Okay.
band
I
called
wish
Hemp
that we
for
had
a short
covered
time.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was the lead guitar player in that band.
Okay.
And
You played the Rambutan Agency Fest Halloween show.
I did. That was fucking a blast.
Your guitarist, Bill, a bassist that is
Well,
sort
what,
of with the
what,
band
what
still.
I'd love to do
He
is
was
turn him
dressed up
into a
as a
guitar
wolf.
player.
He was dressed up as a wolf, which I loved the costume. Great costume.
My ulterior motive is to turn him into a guitar player and have a bass player.
Well, if you're listening, Bill, we love you.
Do the
We
right
do,
thing.
Bill.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. About say that. Shut up. I'll just
We
do
want
it.
more like yeah. You know, we're just
Yeah.
getting started here. They're in the early goings. Definitely, check him out on all of the outlets that he said, which was YouTube and Rumble. Correct.
Yes.
Okay. And then
Yeah, we're basically looking
what's-
for either or.
if you
guitar
wanna
release.
find them quick, okay, you want to type in like yeah into YouTube, and then what's a song that you might have?
Soul Sister.
Soul Sister. Start there. I like that song. You type in like yeah Soul Sister into YouTube, and it'll come up, and you'll be able to find like yeah and take a listen. And I want you to write in the comments.
It's the
and
evil
tell us what you
sister.
think of like yeah. That'd be great.
Tell him we sent you.
Yeah, tell them we sent you.
We'll take 1% of the royalties. No.
We are not 1%.
I'll
getting
give
paid?
you 1% about 1%.
Whoa.
Holy
Nuts.
fuck!
Oh, Jesus.
All right, well, Dave, as we're wrapping it up here, anything else you need to tell the people about and plug in to do? Any such things going on in your life, buddy?
No, all I have to say is that it would be really good to see people just sticking around and supporting their local music,
Tip your
Go to the- go-
tip
go
your
to the-
sound guy
go
if
to
you're
the-
having a good night. I know.
Go to the
Tip
show, stay at the show for all of the
All the
bands,
bands.
not just the ones you like.
Come early, stay late, baby.
Because
I mean, you don't
that's how
have
you
to,
keep
but
it.
it's a nice gesture. But you don't have to. But it's a nice gesture. I won't. But
Well, I don't know.
At least he's calling himself out. So that's
He's
fair
honest.
enough.
listen,
He's
I
honest.
will be real with you. At the
Appreciate the
Palladium,
honesty.
I go to the shows. I literally listen to all the bands backstage, and it's just like it's special to me. I can hear it good back there. You know. What I
Well,
mean?
you're
I'm
still
just like,
there. That still
Yeah,
counts.
Still
that
there.
counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That still
We're
counts.
out there doing the cheerleading.
Yeah, it's
and
like
the
I feel
flat
like I've
bearing.
done enough to support. So if I want to take a fucking couple bands off that I've seen a million times, like, come on,
Fair enough.
let's get real.
Understandable.
Top elbow drop. That's what
Yes,
sounds
sir.
right there. Yes,
I've been
sir.
trying to go more though. I'm trying to support.
Nice.
Very nice. Well, Dave, appreciate you coming.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. We appreciate
Thanks
it.
for being
Thank
here,
you.
man.
Thank you.
Like Yeah is a band.
Check out Like Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you see, if you're at Alchemy, you might see him doing sound. You might not. He's one of the sound guys at Alchemy currently. And that's in Providence, Rhode Island on Chestnut Street, 171.
Tell this gentleman he's doing a good job.
Maybe throw him a tip too.
And as for the rest of you,
Tell Alchemy you want more Dave.
that is
'Cause
correct.
There you go.
As for the rest of you, we'll see you in hell.